And yeah,
Okay, we're recording.
okay. So Martin and Brian, thank you for being here. So I mean,
And
you'll
one
have all the
meeting.
attention. Is Cindy coming on?
Yeah, she's right here. She's listening.
Okay, hi Cindy.
Hi.
Hi. So I wanted to give you I wanted to give you an update on a few things. Um, One is that the zoning process is done, the rezoning. It was approved by the Planning Commission. It was approved in a hearing, a land use hearing, and last week it was formally approved by the board. So we're done. That's a good thing. The second thing is that the SWAT team has had a successful training at the school building, and I think they're going to schedule some more. They also wanted to do some, I guess there's dog SWAT training. I don't really know, but is anybody familiar with that? I'm not, and they wanted to know what we thought about it because it's probably going to be louder because they bark, I guess. So I'll see if I can get more information and just send it out to people to see if anyone's going to have a concern about it. Okay. Um, Going back to the zoning thing, there is one thing that I want to mention is part of the approval of the zoning was that 1 acre of the property alongside Tolbert will be for its open space. And that's because we reduced the open space in the overall property, and as part of the rezoning, we needed to keep some of it. So there is that 1 acre, and it is where we showed you before, and Sarah will show it when she does the presentation. The reason I'm bringing it up is because there is a requirement as part of the zoning that that 1 acre get addressed at least I think it's 2 years after the first building. And so we've talked about this a little bit, and we really want to have that conversation with the Good Neighbor group. And the next time we meet, what I'd like to do is get your opinion, or even today, as do you think we should have a neighborhood meeting, a larger meeting with folks to kind of get their ideas about that 1 acre, or just leave it to the Good Neighbor group? What are your thoughts about that initially? Any
Yeah,
thoughts?
I think overall meeting with the whole neighborhood because I've talked to a few people now. Denise, who is right by our shop, uh, wanted to be in on this too, but she wasn't able to join, and she actually hadn't gotten any notices about the facility going in, and she's only about a block and a half away. And she has
Huh.
never gotten any mailings or anything. So I don't know if the whole neighborhood is getting all the mailings or if it's just directly within the school
So
lot.
when we established the Good Neighbor group, we intentionally wanted to make it smaller so that we could have good conversations. So I don't know if she initially, um, quote unquote, applied to be on the Good Neighbor group or not, or just assumed she would be on it. But, we got all these people
Yeah.
who were interested in it. So yeah, yeah, we can have a larger meeting maybe this summer or next summer, because we have a few years, to be honest with you. But we can start the conversation. I just wanted people to know that there will still be a public space on Tolbert, between Tolbert and the actual facility itself. And so we know that people have ideas for that, and that was made part of the zoning approval. So hi, Varshi. So we have a small group of neighbors because we didn't send out a reminder. So we are recording this meeting, and we'll make sure that it gets out to everybody, and then we'll have another meeting as well. So I just went over the fact that the zoning was passed by the full board last week, so that's done. Um, I also wanted to talk a little bit about the money situation. I sent you, I think, some information about that. And and I will go into it in more detail probably when we have the larger group. But what I wanted to tell you is that the board approved the funding for the demolition and the first building, the clinical building. And the property purchase itself has already been taken care of and that's already paid for. We're going to be using some sources that we have from part of the opioid settlement when states and counties got money from all the settlements that were made with the pharmaceutical companies that is not impacted by the federal government reductions. That's a separate private settlements that were made, and those funds are coming to jurisdictions. And we're continuing to get those monies, and we're going to direct a lot of that funding to the recovery campus. And then we're going to be redirecting some more supported housing dollars to the campus. So we're able to fund that first building. Demolition probably will start, well, we're going to be talking about it, but probably sooner than later. And the reason we want to do it sooner is because there's been a lot of people cutting through the fence and utilizing that property and starting fires, and it's not a good place. So we wanted to make sure that it's as safe as possible for the neighborhood during this interim period. And any questions about that? Okay. If you want, the next time we meet, I can walk everybody through the funding. We are in the process of identifying funds for the second building. And we have some good possibilities, and we're going to continue to work on that. And we'll keep you posted as that happens. Okay, any questions so far? Here, maybe we'll just have it with the two of you, got three of you. This is a lot easier. Yay. So Sarah is one of the key, if not the key designer from our architects. And everyone knows Devarshi. He is the CEO of Fora Health. So I wanted them to walk through where we are, the changes we've made from the initial design, so you're aware of those. And we'll send out a copy of this as well. So Sarah, I'm going to turn it over to you.
Yeah, absolutely. And Cindy, do you want me to show the zoning map just from the staff report, just so
Yeah, that'd be
everybody's really
great.
clear? Okay. Oh, I just got a notification that the host has disabled participant screen sharing.
Just one
Is there a
second.
way for
Just 1 second.
I'll take care of
got
it.
you. Thanks, Dylan.
Okay, go right ahead.
Okay. All right. I think we're in business. So here we are. This is a very diagrammatic site plan from the zone change report, but we've got Tolbert up here, we've got Church Street over here, and then 92nd Ave runs north-south, kind of over here. And in the black outline is the entire property that we're talking about, and the zone change that was just recently approved is to provide 1.15 acres of open space right at the north end along Tolbert Street, and then about 5.5 acres zoned for C3, and that's where our development will be to the south of the property. So, make sense? Any questions there?
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. The other thing I thought I might show is just our site plan overall. So you can kind of see this is that black boundary that we were just looking at. So our entire site. We've got the open space 1.15 acres to the north here. Tolbert is right here. And then 92nd is along north-south over here. And then we've got two buildings, building 1 to the south and building 2 more towards the north, but still not in that open space area. And then we've got parking. We're keeping the parking off the street just to maintain a nice pedestrian realm there on the sidewalk. So we thought we'd just give you the overall project schedule kind of timeline. So we started the schematic design process this spring. We finished that and moved into design development in the fall. And here shortly in December, we're going to be starting construction documents, planning to submit for building permit around the end of February. So that's our current timeline. And then we'd be starting construction pending permitting and everything goes according to plan in the summer of 2026, so next summer. And we have about a year of construction timeline. Right now, like Cindy was saying, we're still kind of working out the details of the budget, but the building one at least would be following this construction timeline. The other thing we wanted to tell you about was some changes between the schematic design and design development phases. We made a couple of tweaks, just reducing some square footage, tightening up our buildings to make sure that we are really using the square footage in a way that meets our budget. We also reviewed some material choices, made some color selections. We revised the building entry design a little bit. We shifted our driveway to align with Church Street a little better, and we feel that's a good move for the neighborhood in general because it just provides a little more continuity there instead of having offset driveways, which gets weird from a traffic perspective. And then we added, and this came out of some of the conversations that we had as a group, along with some of the conversations that we had with a peer group, we added some benches and a little more rain cover at the withdrawal management entry. So this is what it looks like currently, and we're kind of hovering along 92nd, kind of to the southeast of the property. So you can see this is 92nd Ave here. This is Church Street. We have the church over here on the corner, and then you can see how our driveway aligns with Church Street. And then we have building one over here towards the south. We're doing everything we can to maintain that really lovely row of trees to the south of the property. We think that's a big neighborhood asset that we want to keep. It also provides shade to our property, provides a little buffer between the lots. So we're trying really hard to keep that. But we kind of ghosted it in just this is like a artist rendering. So if we had shown it fully, it would be blocking most of our courtyard view. So you can kind of see it ghosted in there. So building one is the withdrawal management and the residential treatment. And then building two is the outpatient program and the residential treatment. And you can kind of see one of the big moves that we've done here from a design standpoint is the masses along 92nd Avenue. They're 2 stories tall. They have a gable roof form, and we're trying to fit into the residential character a little bit better with that kind of gable roof form with a shingle roof. And then we have a flat roof section over here, but it's more towards the interior of the building. That'll provide a little more ease of maintenance for some solar panels that we're talking about putting on that roof. And yeah, those were the design choices, kind of big design choices that we made. And then we'll be improving that sidewalk all along 92nd. Any questions or comments? Yeah, go ahead, Devarshi.
Just real quick, the building 2 is labeled outpatient and residential treatment, but it's actually outpatient and housing. So the difference between residential treatment and housing is that residential treatment is like 2 to 3 months. Housing tends to be 4 to 6 months, so it's a longer term stay. So just wanted to clarify that.
Thank you. I'm so sorry. Yeah, I totally mislabeled that. So building 2 is outpatient and transitional housing, really. Yeah. So folks, like Devarshi was saying, folks would be living there for up to 6 months. Yeah. And they would be, they're a little more independent, whereas the folks in the residential treatment would be staying in the kind of contained within the building and the courtyard area.
I have a question.
Yeah, go ahead.
So you're doing street improvements on 92nd. Are street improvements going to be done on Tolbert? Sidewalks or lighting or anything like that?
So we're do you want to answer that, Cindy?
Yeah, we're talking with the Department of Transportation Development to figure out what that needs to be and who pays for it, but yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's a dark street.
Yeah.
It's a very dark street at night. It's actually, once you add more people, it will be really unsafe if there's no street lighting on that street because traffic tends to speed a lot. especially in the evenings. We're right across the street from that part of it. We live right across the street, so we
Gotcha.
see.
Yeah.
So, our house is on 91st
Yeah.
in Tolbert, so we see a lot of a fast traffic, and
Mhm.
that street is dark at night.
hmm Gotcha. Yeah, I think we actually did a pre-app conference a couple of weeks ago, and the county is aware that the street lighting situation on Tolbert needs to be improved. So
Thank you.
I think right now, yeah, when the um, right-of-way improvements go in, they will incorporate streetlights. I think right now what we're trying to navigate is when when the open space gets built, like, are we doing the street improvements now with this project, or do they get deferred until the open space gets built, which would be no more than 2 years, I think is the
Okay.
timeline. Yeah.
Thank you.
So yeah, absolutely. Any other thoughts or comments on that? Otherwise, I have a few more renderings to show you, just kind of what the development would be looking like. Okay. Oh, before that, I did include some plans for us if you're interested. So this is building one. We have with the withdrawal management is in yellow, residential treatment is in blue, and then we don't have any admin spaces in particular on this floor, but that would be in pink, and then anything that's back of house circulation utility is gray. So you can see that this is 92nd along here. The withdrawal management is pushed more towards the interior of the site, and I think that was a comment from this group as well. And then the residential treatment in that entrance is pushed more towards 92nd. We have the main entrance for residential treatment. Both main entrances come off of our site, not off of 92nd. And I believe that was also in response to some thoughts that this group had. And then on the second floor of building one, we have the residential treatment. The admin wing would be facing 92nd. And then building two, we have our transitional housing to the north and the outpatient treatment to the south. And then transitional housing all along that second level. And then this view, I guess before I get into that, any thoughts or questions on the floor plans? Okay. This view, you're standing on 92nd looking at building one. So this would be the main entry to building one. We're using wood siding for the east facing 92nd. I feel that kind of gives the building a warm character. We're also using a shingle roof. We have a fiber cement panel for kind of the body of the building there, and then where the withdrawal management wing happens, we're kind of bookending that with a wood mass as well. But that's a single story volume. You can see the main entry here to the residential treatment. This is I think we've switched up a little bit of how this plaza works, but this is the general gist of that entryway. And then a couple of views of the courtyard. And this courtyard will all be fenced in. So residents will be primarily using the courtyard for recreation or maybe group meetings or anything like that. But the fence, I think we're looking at a 7-foot fence right now for privacy, both from outside and inside. Another view of the courtyard looking west. And then we have an aerial of building one. And then an aerial just looking across both buildings. So building one here, we have our parking area. And then the building two over here. That'll also have its own courtyard area. And then the primary entry for building two, it will have an entry off of 92nd, but it has a kind of a main entry plaza off kind of towards the interior of the site where anyone who parks kind of in the lot would be able to access that pretty easily. And that's all I have to show today. Let's see. Oh, Rick hopped on. Hi, Rick. Good to see you.
Yep, sorry about that. It was the whole system went into reset mode. So
Good, glad you're
Oh.
here.
it even says that I'm Cindy Becker, so it tells you there's something going on.
Yeah, I wouldn't be
Yeah.
able to tell you apart.
Any more questions for Sarah?
Yeah, thoughts on the design, concerns.
Mm.
Okay, well, we'll send this out with the recording as well. Thank you, Sarah. And I'm glad Rick is here. He is the SWAT training guy and can also maybe chat a little bit about how that went and the dog, whatever the dog thing is they want to do.
Yeah, so the SWAT thing went really well. There was no ill feedback from the community. Actually, there was no feedback from the community, and SWAT has scheduled more dates in December to do their training. They did a great job. It was a great training for them. I know that the CCSO and other communities would like to do the dog training in the building, but what that looks like, obviously, there would be barking and stuff like that in the building, whereas the SWAT training was just like click sounds. We went out and sampled that. So I would need to know how the community felt about that. It would be the same where they would be inside, they'd be parked in the back, but inside the building, obviously the dogs are going to be barking and running around and, looking for things in the building. So that's kind of where I didn't tell them to go ahead with that training at all because I wanted to get feedback from the group first, based on what the feeling was for that specific training. The other part, the SWAT training, is no problem. We've already done it. It was very successful. So I'm looking for input and maybe opinion as to whether I could tell them to move forward with a date or something like that.
Thanks, Rick. We have the best people here today from the community, but we had
Perfect.
screwed up a little bit because we forgot to send a notice out, so we don't have a lot of the other people here. However, Martin and Cindy and Brian, if you have any thoughts about
Cindy and I are perfectly fine with them doing the dog training, and it's well needed, and it's no problem with us. And then again, we live right across the street, and our shop is close by. We didn't even hear any of the training with the SWAT. We had no issue. So I'm a green light, and
There's dogs barking in the neighborhood all the time anyway, so
It's
it'll fit
it's a
right in.
perfect setting for training, really,
Yeah.
for
yeah,
the
it
sport.
is.
So
Yeah.
it is. Brian, do you have any comments?
Yeah, saving no real issues. We're to the south of you. We're just off Clackamas Road.
Okay.
We're
Okay.
So, we did not notice the tree either. But, but, uh, we primarily, um, we service trucking companies. Sometimes drivers will drive their big trucks down Clackamas Road to get to us. So what would the parking situation be like?
So the participation with the dogs and the officers, they would park in the back on the basketball court like they did last time with SWAT, and all the dog training would be inside the building. They would not be coming down any of the roads at all.
Great, yeah. That that would be what would be my only concern.
Okay. Yeah, no problem. And I can make sure I relay that to them as well and let them know we expect them only in the building training the dogs. Obviously, they'll be taking their dogs from their vehicles into the building in the back, but they won't be coming down the road.
Perfect. Thank
Okay.
you. Yeah.
And I'll send a quick note out to the rest of the group to see if anybody has any concerns. I suspect because it's in the building, and I also it's good to have a place for training, and so let's make use of that resource while we have it. So, but I'll just do a real quick check with the rest of the group just to be sure, and we'll send this recording out.
Yeah, and if you send it back to me as soon as you hear back at all, or a time limit so that I can get it back to them, because I know they're looking at dates and stuff as well with the holidays coming. That would
Right.
be
Yeah.
awesome.
Great. I'll CC you on the email so
Okay.
folks know to respond to you. Great. Okay. Any other questions or comments, concerns that anybody has?
No.
Okay, well, we're not going to send notices out in the future, so we can just meet with you guys. So,
Sounds good.
And if you guys ever have questions, you're welcome to call me. It's not a problem.
yeah,
Perfect. Thank you.
great. Yeah, he's our contact. Yeah, and I think, getting back to your point about the open space, also having a meeting with a larger group of people, not just the Good Neighbor group, probably makes sense for a number of reasons. And so, we don't have to have it to, that's Rick's number, by the way, not mine. We don't need to have it right away, but I think it's a good communication. So we will definitely do that. And we will send this recording out to the whole group along with the slideshow from Sarah, and and then we'll schedule another meeting. Probably won't be until after the holidays because getting people's schedules is like crazy making. And so, and there's not, now that we've gotten these approvals to move forward, there's not going to be anything new except working on this stuff. And, but we'll send something out to folks and schedule that.
Perfect.
Okay,
Thank you.
everybody good with that?
Yep.
Great. And I want to thank you again for being so aware of your calendar and reading our emails and not deleting them. So I appreciate that a lot. And we'll definitely be in touch soon. And have a wonderful Thanksgiving and holiday.
Thank you too.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Bye.
Thank you very
Bye.
much. You guys have a good holiday too.
Happy holidays.
Great. All right. Thanks.